Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Natural Nans. Today we will be doing our makeup together because we are currently in load shedding and I haven't worn makeup since last year, but in the realist way. And not a jokey, it's the 2nd of Jan and you haven't done something since last year. Like I haven't worn makeup in a really long time. So I thought we'd put someone together and then also chat a little bit because I've been watching some programs, well, but also some YouTube videos, and it's put something in my mind quite a bit around like imposter syndrome. Also, my friend brought it up in a WhatsApp group that we're in, and so it made me think because it's an interesting dynamic, but let's get into it. So I'm just gonna start off with foundation. Oh, almost. Okay, wait, let's start again. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off with this Switch Beauty primer. It's a putty primer, and I like it. I mean, ordinarily I wear sprays as primer, but this primer is pretty good and it smells like peaches, so it's a win-win for me. Normally people would put this primer, well, I've seen people putting this texture of primer more on your T-zone and stuff, but I like to put it across my whole face just because it does the job. So I want it to be doing the job everywhere. I don't know if you guys can see how it is low-key mattifying my face. So that's really good. That's what I really enjoy about it. So today I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome. And so there's two dynamics to it, right? Because there's imposter syndrome in terms of you feel like you don't belong, and it's like not even I belong elsewhere. It's like I feel like I'm a fraud even though you're clearly not. But then you feel like you're not achieving what you want to be achieving or what you think you should be achieving, right? Because it's based on assumptions. Because I guarantee you, let's say in a work setting, if you're not doing what you need to be doing, you'll be told, okay? Like, they're not going to waste time, especially if you're an expensive resource. So, I guess, all people are essentially. But yeah, so if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, they will tell you. But then it's like, here you are, probably new to this role or new to working. A lot of people are coming out of university and they feel this way. And you just, it's like, I know 1 + 1 = 2, but then I get anxiety when I'm being asked to add things in a meeting, right? I don't know if this is everyone, but it's like you don't trust the work you've put in up to this point. So I don't know how that happens. I don't know why that happens. Because clearly they hired you for a reason. And also I'm talking about this in a job context because that's one that I know to come up in, but it can definitely come up in other aspects of your life. But yeah, you just feel like you're a fraud in some sort of a way because you're like, oh my word, this person hired me to add and here I am like using a calculator, like, you know, shock, horror, gasp. Am I the right person for this job? And I mean, if you weren't, you wouldn't have, if they didn't think you would be, they wouldn't have hired you, right? And then you still have to prove yourself once you're there. And if you don't, they'll let you know, because it reflects on them if you're doing well or if you're doing badly. Them being the company, but more immediately like whoever you report to or whoever your manager is. So yeah, it's tough because it's like, how do you build confidence in yourself, and how do you build that backbone or that a surety in your skills and in your belonging in that organization or in that environment, so that you can actually thrive, right? Because what the issue is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So you think you're an imposter, you subconsciously, sometimes that could affect your work, it could affect your output, it could affect the way you do things. Maybe it leads to procrastination, maybe it leads to you always second guessing yourself, so you're always asking people for advice or for help or for them to check your work. And then that sometimes that doesn't come across well, because it's like, oh, dude, why are you asking me if 1 + 1 = 2? Like, you know this, you have a degree in adding, in addition. You know what I'm saying? So it's such a dilemma. And why I wanted to talk about this is because, so I was watching a video from Samantha Ravindal, and I love her so much. Like, I think she's one of my favorite YouTubers. Going in with concealer, Maybelline Age Rewind. Maybelline Age Rewind, or what? Instant Anti-Age. But I think in the US they call it Age Rewind. So then Samantha Ravindal released a video like announcing her brand and that kind of stuff. And she also did a live before that. And I think because in the live she was talking about how like she was going to release it on a specific date, and then like orders will be able to be received, like she'll actually start selling a few days after that. And then she ended up actually just introducing us to her brand earlier, because everyone, including me, was really curious and we wanted to know, what was what. And then while she was talking, she was saying like, it's such a mind F. I don't know what other word. It's like it causes cognitive dissonance, I feel, in my brain. Like, but it's so weird. It's such a weird feeling as someone who has imposter syndrome to invest in yourself. So it's like, to some extent, you believe in yourself, and like subconsciously, you know it's what, and you know you can do what needs to be done, right? And she was just talking about how investing in yourself when you have imposter syndrome is like a weird thing. It's weird, and it's something that I'm trying to figure out, because I've put in work, but I've made some investments in myself in the form of businesses that I want to start, and like, I'm into property. For those of you who don't know, I'll link my channel in the cards. I've put a lot of money into that, and I've put like a lot of money into my business, but then at the same time I look at people who have the same business or who sell the same stuff as me, and then it's like I get discouraged almost immediately, and it's like, oh, why am I doing this? There's so many of us, like there's no room for me. I shouldn't have even started this thing. What was the point? It's not gonna be successful. But it's like, but you took the money. You took the money that you had and you put it into this thing. So clearly, and it's like, as I'd like to give myself the credit that, I have sense in my brain. So if I'm gonna put money towards something, it's because I've looked into it and I've assessed, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a good idea. I think I can grow this. I think I can be successful at this thing, right? So it's just like, how do you get over this thing? Because it's crippling sometimes. It's crippling because I'm at the stage now, I've put in money into this brand that, and it's not even like it's a brand I want to start. It's a brand I've already started, and it's a brand that I must say I am quite proud of to date. But then we are expanding, and I put money into that expansion. But then it's like now I'm sitting here with product, and I'm just like, I'm in analysis paralysis, because I'm like, okay, this thing needs to launch. How am I gonna launch it? What if I do it wrong? And then it's like, oh, this celebrity is launching this, and this celebrity is launching that, or even just amongst influencers, like people are launching things, and it's so great to see, and it's so great to see like support and that kind of stuff that they're getting, because it's like it's encouraging just to see, oh wow, people can start businesses and they can be successful. But now here I am in this position where I have stock, it's ready to go, it's ready for the world to see it, and it's really good. Like, I stand behind it 100%. But I'm paralyzed in fear. I'm paralyzed in fear, which my fear comes through via analysis and like over analyzing everything. Like everything. And it's a gift. Like, I know it's a gift, and I know it helps me more than it hurts me. But right now it's hurting me. And so I just wanted to ask you guys, how do you get over this? How do you do things? How do you do things? Period. Because people just say, oh, just do it. But then there's a whole other section of the population who, that doing it piece, going from thinking to doing, it needs a miracle. So I'm using this powder. It is Banana Dreams by W7. This is the best powder in the world. Period. How do you guys pull the trigger on your ideas, essentially on your dreams? Because obviously the fear is failure, right? That's what it is. Even with imposter syndrome, the fear is failure, because you are worried that you won't do what you're supposed to do, what you were put there to do. And then as a result of that, they're going to look into you and going to be like, oh my word, this person is a fraud. They can't even do 2 + 3, let alone 4 plus 5, why on earth did we hire them? That's the fear. And it's legitimate, I feel, in certain cases. But then in imposter syndrome, it's not legitimate. Like, that's the actual point. That's why it's a syndrome, right? So I don't know. I really don't know. And even the fact that, like, I'm talking to you guys about this thing in vague terms, right? Like, I'm not just coming out and saying, hey, I have XYZ. That's part of it. That's part of the fear. Because it's like, girl, do you really want to expose yourself like that and then get roasted on the interwebs? We're going to do our eyes. Let me just bring you closer. I know it's a lot. It's a lot of powder, but it serves its purpose, okay? So we're going in with this palette from Revolution, the Courage palette. And just to start off, I wanna just, with this excess powder on this sponge, I wanna just dab it on my eyelids so that it takes away some of that oil, because I didn't put any eye primer. Also, I didn't put any concealer over my eyes, which I normally do, but it's okay because the gradient on my eye will work well with this eye look, I think, or with the palette in general. So yeah, gonna go into our eyes now. I'm just gonna use this brown over here. It's like a very neutral brown, almost on the khaki side of life. I'm just gonna put this all over my lid just to give some uniformity to my lid before going in with the dimension adding products. So back to imposter syndrome. I feel like, or at least the imposter syndrome, but then coupling that with having those bouts of actually believing in yourself and like doing something to further that in terms of what your dreams are. I think another reason why I do it despite how I feel is because certain habits in my life have really helped me to manifest the life that I have now, or to manifest the path that I'm on right now. Because, and I don't know if a lot of you do this, but manifesting your life is a real thing. And I know it's like a bit of a buzzword right now, but it's real, okay? And it's not just a January thing. Like, manifest throughout the year. But one, and I mean, you may not know that you're manifesting, but one thing that I do is, I'm just putting that in the crease. I write down where I am, and then I write down where I want to be. So, and I have this little book. It's not even the nicest book. It's just, those normal books you would have bought to go to school. And I put in every section of your life, right? So health is the hardest one for me. Like, I won't even lie. Health is the hardest one for me just because it requires discipline. And discipline is something that I'm still working on. For my whole life, it feels. But yeah, it requires discipline. But even with your health, okay, right now, I I can't even do 30 minutes on a treadmill, for example. And by the end of the year, I wanna be able to run for 30 minutes straight on a treadmill. Things like that. And also money. I write down right now my bank account, I have X amount of money. At the end of the year, I want Y amount of money. Even with my properties, I write down what I'm owing at the moment, like how much my bond is, and how much I want it to be at the end of the year, So doing those kind of things, I don't know what it is, but there's something about writing it down that just like cements it in the universe, because you writing it down, I feel, is like you're taking ownership of that thing. It's not just something you say in passing and you'll forget about it. Like, you took the time to think it, you translated those thoughts into words, and you wrote those words down in a book you have access to and that you can read every now and then. And you'd be surprised, because the thing is, right, before I used to do these things, but I wasn't really actively working towards it. Like, I wouldn't sit down and then put together a budget of how we're gonna get there, and all of that. Like, literally, I didn't. But when I look at that book, or I look at those goals that I set at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, I've achieved quite a few of them, if not all of them, and for some of them I've surpassed. And like, that's even that happened with 2020. As bad as that year was, I still managed to achieve some of the big goals that I wanted to achieve. And I don't know what it is, I don't know the psychology behind it, but writing it down really does something. So do you guys do that? Do you have, like, I don't know, vision boards, or maybe a digital vision board? I know a lot of people are doing digital vision boards now, and those are actually quite nice, and they're doing it on Canva, and they're putting them as cell phone wallpapers, or they're putting them as their laptop wallpaper, which is awesome. I want to do like a physical vision board in a frame, and I'll show that to you guys. I want to do that, and just it's just translating what I've written down in my book to actual like pictures, and then I hang it up, hang it up somewhere where I will see it every day. I'm just putting some of it all over my lid, because I want some of that tone. I like it because it's a reddish purplish brown, so I want some of that tone all over my lid. So that's why you see me like brushing my brush over my lid every now and then. But yeah, I want that physical reminder every day of what we are working towards this year, because this year I'm taking leaps. Like, it's one thing to, you're on your path, you're in the right car, and that you're going on the right road, right? So it's just about, okay, I want to accelerate it a bit. Like, I'm changing my mode of transport, essentially, is like how the kind of leap that I'm trying to make this year. So I need things to keep me accountable to myself, because no one else will, right? No one wants you to achieve your dreams more than you do. Not even your parents, and no one can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. I want like a shimmery color I want like a shimmery color. Actually, before we do that, let's go underneath the eye while we're here. So let me know in the comments below, are you guys doing this? Are you actively manifesting your life? Are you actively writing down your goals, planning how you're gonna work towards them? I mean, at the same time, like, this period of time for a lot of people is just, yo, I need to get my head back on straight because it's been a roller coaster and a half. And I mean, that within itself is progress, right? So it doesn't have to be like, oh, within the next 6 months, I need to be a billionaire. Like, I need to be enlisting on the JSE Stock Exchange. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that way. Recovery is a goal. It is a very important thing to achieve, okay? Especially when life has taken a turn that was unexpected. So now I'm going to be doing the shimmery part of this look, which will be, now I'm going to be adding these two just to the center of my lid. I don't know, I like the way this looks. I mean, that's it. I just like the way it looks. To have like a shimmery, like halo. Is it a halo? Yeah. And another goal, speaking of goals, is to grow my YouTube channel. Currently there is about 83 of you subscribed to my channel, and that is crazy to me. Like, I'm just thinking in terms of, imagine 83 people in a room looking at you do your hair and your makeup. Like, that is a lot of people. And I just wanted to thank you guys for subscribing and for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. It's nice to do something you enjoy and people are enjoying it with you, you know? And so with me posting more often, I'm excited because I now have more freedom in terms of space to post more and to post different things. Like, I have, isn't that pretty? I have a shoe haul that I filmed, and I think that's gonna be one of my next videos, just because you guys don't know this, but I'm a shoeaholic in the best way possible. Like, it's a problem. It's not a problem, actually. It's the solution. It's not a problem. People want to make me feel like it's a problem, but it's not. You know, people collect things all the time. And for me, it just happens to be shoes. Shoes and a little bit of makeup. But yeah, I have that video coming up for you guys. And I can't wait. Also, I want to do some fashion content because I love fashion. And I think that's on my Instagram. That's what you'll see more of. Just because it's you can change it up a lot more, you know. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I say that to say, if you are enjoying this content, please give my videos a like. It really does help. With it really does help in terms of getting my video out there for people to see it. And also I want to know if this is the kind of content you guys want to see. Oh, we're doing bronzer now. I'll show you guys what the bronzer looks like just now. But it's Hoola. It's the Hoola Toasted. You know, I thought the caramel would have worked for me. That was a no. It's just a bit too tan. It maybe could have worked as an under eye highlight. I'm not sure. But there it is. Sometimes I like to put it under my chin. You know, but not too much. And I'm gonna put some over my nose, but very little, because this powder is very pigmented, so I need to be careful. I normally mix this with my Lancome face powder, but I don't have it with me right now. But the good thing is when I wipe out all this powder, it will help like counteract any harshness of the bronzer. I was gonna say contour, but I do not contour. Yeah, I like using warmth, so that's technically not considered a contour, right? But yeah, guys, thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's great to see you guys here. So next, we're gonna be putting on lashes. These are Cover the Lashes in the Style Princess. I'm just gonna do that off camera. Okay, change of plans. While my eyelash glue is getting tacky, I'm going to take off this powder and finish off my brows. Do you guys do your brows before or after your face is done? I've seen a lot of people do their brows before, but I was like, how do they stay intact? Like, how do they stay intact throughout that whole process? I don't understand. Because I know if I did my brows before, I would get foundation and all those other things all over them. Let me know in the comments below, are you brows first or brows last? Okay, so I do not have my normal brow product. I'm just going to use the spoolie of this one to get all the excess powder off. I normally use this one but in black, but man, I don't have my stash with me. So we're literally relying on our normal brow shape to get this done. There we go. Yeah, and that will do for now. So speaking of work environments, there was this conversation happening on Twitter around someone who got like advanced education and they were interning at a company or an organization, and they were just talking about how, as someone with a master's, how is it that I'm being paid so little? Like I'm being exploited, right? So I just wanted to, it's a difficult one, right? Because we know exploitation is the name of the game when it comes to capitalism. A part of me believes that most of the biggest companies are somehow exploiting something, right? Whether they're exploiting tax laws for their benefit. It's not illegal, but they're milking what they can out of the loopholes that they're seeing. And then obviously in like normal everyday jobs, people get exploited in terms of what they paid versus what they bring to the company or how much money they earn for the company. So it's a catch-22, right? But my question is, do you guys believe that coming in with a master's means more than coming in with a matric but then with like 10 years experience? Because that would be the same amount of time you went to school, right? Which one matters more, experience or education? I've seen in a lot of environments where the CEO started as a teller. The CEO started as, someone who most likely only needed a matric, and then they built their way up and they moved across businesses, or they moved within the business and they learned more and gained experience, and as they were progressing they maybe studied further, got some certificates, got some diplomas, but never like really went back to school and got like a full bachelor and whatever. I've seen a lot of people come through and be CEOs through that path, right? Because you really understand the business, because you've been working in it like from, and it's not even the bottom. It's that's not the bottom. Being let's say in a bank, right? Being a teller, you're not at the bottom. People may view you that way, unfortunately, but that's not the truth. Like, you're the face of the company, okay? And there's a lot of nonsense that people have to take when they are designated faces of the company. Like, if customers are unhappy, you will know it and you will experience it because you are the face, right? Okay, it's lash time.